Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Actually, this session or this guide is actually intended to help you to produce a good final year project paper or practice paper for MIFP. Project paper or practice paper is basically a mini project. It's something like a mini thesis. So this session is hoped to give you some assistance or giving you advice on how to come up with a good and proper and a relevant project paper. Let me start by giving you advice on how to gather relevant material, how to organize it into a suitable form, and how to then turn it into a written project paper or practice paper. It will also describe the conventions that should govern the structure of the report and suggest some descriptive devices that you can use to make it more effective or more efficient. The purpose of this project paper or this practice paper or this mini thesis is in the context of the MIFP program to integrate various aspects of the taught material and to demonstrate both your academic research skills as well as your professional analysis, design and implementation skills. It gives you the opportunity to conduct in-depth work on a substantial problem to show individual creativity and originality, to apply, where appropriate, knowledge, skills, and techniques that you have learned throughout the MIFP program to further oral and written communication skills, as well as to practice investigative, problem-solving, management, and other transferable skills. The management and execution of this project is your responsibility, but please do seek and take advantage of advice from your supervisors. The supervisors are elected by your good self, so please make sure you choose the correct and relevant supervisor as per the topic that you intend to do. An important point to remember is that the report should describe your work. Large chunks of book work describing standard material are unnecessary. You should simply refer to such material when necessary. Assume that your reader is a competent computer or information systems theorist or practitioner. Areas of research in INSIEF is basically under the main umbrella of Islamic finance. As you can see in the following slide, which gives you some rough suggestion, but please do keep in mind, this is an indicative, non-exhaustive list. The areas of research that we would like to suggest are in the areas of Islamic finance, Islamic banking, takaful, Islamic accounting, Islamic indices and mutual funds, Islamic business ethics, zakat, waqf, and poverty alleviation. Remember what I have said earlier, these are just mere suggestions. These suggestions are not exhaustive. The following slide would display the available supervisors in INSIEF, as well their area of expertise for your reference. You could see that these supervisors are very well versed in their certain areas. Please choose your supervisor as per the suitability of your project. Remember, your project supervisor will guide you on what it is reasonable to expect in a project in your chosen topic to deliver. However, all projects are required to justify all decisions made at every stage of research and the development of appropriate deliverables, including the choice of approach. References to work in periodicals, for example, magazines and journals and conference proceedings, may be more useful than references to textbooks, as periodicals and conferences are usually more specialized and up-to-date. References to technical manuals and national and international standards should also be included where appropriate. You may also cite websites as sources if suitable. However, keep in mind that websites may often contain incomplete or wrong information, and in general, textbook or papers are better reference and show that you have done a more extensive literature review than just searching for some keywords on the internet. Let me start by saying how the introduction should more or less look like. A good introduction should tell the reader what the project is about without assuming special knowledge and without introducing any specific material that might obscure the overview. It should anticipate and combine main points described in more detail in the rest of the project report. Also, bear in mind, importantly, it should enthuse the reader about the project to encourage them to read the whole project. Normally, things that is expected that should be in the introduction are things such as the aims or goals of the project, the intended audience or beneficiaries of the work done, the scope of the project, the approach used in carrying out the project, assumptions on which the work is based, and a broad summary of important outcomes. It should be followed by the background section. The whole idea or the purpose of the background section is to provide the typical reader with information that they cannot be expected to know, but which they will need to know in order to fully understand and appreciate the rest of the report. It must explain why the project is addressing the problem described in the report. It should indicate an awareness of other work relevant to this problem and show clearly that the problem has not been solved by anyone else. Or you can even revisit some of the problems but with a different kind of approach. The section may describe such things as the wider context of the project, the problem that has been identified, the likely stakeholders with the problem area, any theory associated with the problem area, any constraints on the approach to be adopted, existing solutions relevant to the problem area, and why these are unsuitable or insufficient in this particular case. Methods and tools that your solution may be based on or used to solve the problem. You should continue by describing the data that you'll be using, the method that you'll be using. So in the data and methodology section, you should specify your source of data. And please bear in mind, the source of data must be valid and reliable. And please cite the source. It should also include some explanation of the data. What kind of data, what it is called, what are the measurements, the method of analysis that you're going to adopt. Is it a qualitative method? Is it a quantitative method? Who is the originator? Why it is being used? Why is it suitable in your case? After running the analysis, the results and discussion area should not be mere reporting. It should not be just saying that this variable is positive, this variable is negative. That is what we call merely reporting. There should be more in-depth analysis being done. There should be more elaborate discussion. What are the underlying assumptions? What are the policy implications? What are the policy recommendations that you would like to use? What are the limitations that you have faced? So all in all, this project paper or practice paper or mini thesis is about how you use the knowledge that you have garnered during your study period in INSEAF, as well as mixing it together with your professional affiliation your job function now, and how for you to use it in a nutshell, in a summary, to come out with a good project. I would like to wish all of you all the best. And if you could see, the following slide would point you to all the formalities, all the rules and regulation, as well as the perceived format of the project paper. Please do give some attention to the format. Thank you, and I would like to wish you all the best.